Have you found yourself wondering what other opportunities lie within the growing meeting environments? Let's see, we have a display, we might have a projector and an electric screen, maybe distributed sound, and of course, we have the user-friendly room control system. Oh yeah, we have the video conferencing system with the beamforming mics. And we can't forget the purple chairs. I think Pantone might call those Radiant Orchid, by the way. But in the boardroom or the executive conference room, we're still missing something, in part because of the growth of the huddle space in the flexible meeting room. There's more need for the executive conference room and boardroom to rise to the top and provide C-level executives with the technology that they need to get into the meeting, get their decisions made, and then get on to the next part of their day. So, what is it that's missing from this picture?
Top-level executives are really no different than the rest of us. They want the tools to meet efficiently and productively in the shortest amount of time. So today we're going to show you how you can gain new opportunities by uncovering what executives want and are most willing to pay for. I'm Clay Stalka.
And I'm Neil Weber. I'm an executive VP here at Starin, so I might be able to shine a little light on the subject. So when we have our senior executive meetings, we have a pretty full agenda to move through and a bunch of tough decisions to consider and make.
God, Neil, were you getting a little intense at that meeting?
You know, I got to get a point across somehow. So anyway, it's really helpful if we can connect with people off-site, share the content we have to all of us, and it would be really nice if we could record the whole thing and be able to review everything we went over.
Yeah, it looks like it might be a little hard to remember exactly what went on with that motley crew. And it had to stink in there by the end of the day, too.
Yes, most definitely, with those people.
Well, I know that you've got the collaboration part covered. But, you know, the part that a lot of people forget is discussion moderation and the recording of those thoughts and ideas.
Yeah, without having a sound guy or a system operator to get it set up and to control the whole thing.
Well, this is the first opportunity that you may be missing. The ability to moderate and control a formal meeting environment from a chairperson's position.
It's really easy to imagine the large number of cases where having the ability to control a formal meeting and then record the proceedings all from a single, simple point of control is going to make the efficiency of that meeting much better.
Next, let's take a look at a typical town council application. Every city, every county, or municipality has them. Even the smallest local communities need to meet the requirements of the law in their jurisdictions. And having done a lot of these kinds of installations for many times over the years, I know that the primary requirements are meeting the ADA mandates for voice reinforcement and, of course, having a quality recording of the proceedings for the public archive. Now, this often includes automatic switching of remote cameras and content feeds, too, and they follow the person that's speaking on a topic.
And more times than not, these municipalities don't have access to a competent AV tech on staff to make sure everything works properly.
Yeah, you know they don't. So this brings us to opportunity number 2 that you might be missing. A simple yet powerful way to automate the process of providing voice reinforcement, recording, and video that follows the speaking voice, all without the need for a sophisticated control system or a trained operator.
Oh, and by the way, you can provide secure voting and even language translation into this environment as part of the system as well.
Yes, you can. And then we have the courtroom. Now, I know there are specialty integrators across the country that focus exclusively on courtroom AV. Well, that's all well and good. But for every small town and county in the country, they can't always afford top-flight AV integration. Yet they, just like every other government sector entity, have mandates that they have to meet. Now, this includes quality recordings of the proceedings, including isolated audio channels of the judge, the witnesses, and each of the attorneys too.
That's a pretty diverse jury there, I think. And in many cases, they also need a video camera that can accurately follow the proceedings without the need of a trained operator. So while you may not traditionally go after high-end courtroom business, you now have access to a simple to deploy and operate comprehensive courtroom recording and monitoring system that's affordable even by the smallest community.
And that's a mouthful.
That's right.
So that brings us to opportunity number 3 that you might be missing. An affordable yet comprehensive courtroom system that can record discrete channels of audio from the judge, the witnesses, and the attorneys, and provide video follows audio camera control. And it's got to be easy enough to operate that a trained operator is never necessary.
Now, the logical addition to this discussion would be, what speakers do I use for voice reinforcement? Well, of course, we've got you covered on that as well. Bosch and Electro-Voice together have just about any configuration of loudspeaker and amplifier that you could ever need, from flush mount and surface mount designs to hanging pendant speakers and even varied directional line array columns. You can get them all from Starin. So let's take a look at a typical application and investigate why these might be a better choice for these rooms.
The Bosch ceiling loudspeaker is available in the typical footprint that you're used to in a flush-mounted, easy-to-install design. Now, of course, they're plenum rated, so they're the right choice for use in the ceilings of public buildings where the above suspended ceiling spaces are most often used as the return source to the HVAC system. So they'll meet the code for these projects. Their driver design is specifically created to meet the need for music reproduction with a focus on live speech and evacuation messaging. Now, EVAC compliance means that these speakers have added reliability to assure that the proper working of the voice evacuation system is happening in the event of any emergency. Now, sometimes courtrooms, council chambers, and executive boardrooms don't allow for cutting in the ceiling and walls, and don't we know that? So a low-profile, paintable speaker system would be required. A steerable line array product can do the trick. Now, these speakers perform miracles in even the most troublesome acoustic environment, making speech intelligibility and, of course, gain before feedback a non-issue. Now, I used these speakers in an old train station with a 7-second RT60, and they really worked like a charm. The speech was as clear as a bell, and they're most unobtrusive when mounted on an architectural wall.
And finally, in the executive boardroom, architecture is always the focal point. So there's no way to install any speakers that are going to satisfy any architect and the owner. So that takes us right to the Bosch Conferencing system. You see high-quality speakers and a headphone amplifier built right in.
Now, can you even imagine trying to put conference sound reinforcement into this conference room?
I don't think so. By the way, this was the Nuclear Security Summit, and those are Bosch conferencing systems that you can buy from Starin right there on the table.
Yes, they are. Now, Bosch has several conferencing and language translation systems available that fit right into this space. But in the limited time that we have left, I want to focus in on just 2 that you should really know about and really understand. So, this is the CCS1000D digital discussion system. Now, as you can see here, you'll need a number of discussion mics, and you can get them with either a short or a long gooseneck mic attachment. And of course, you need a CCSD control unit, either with or without the built-in recorder. Now, first of all, you need to change out one of these discussion devices with the chairman buttons. Now, it's really easy to do, and it comes with all the extra buttons. Just pop out the single talk button, and you replace it with the priority and the talk button for the chairman. Of course, this means you don't have to specify different products on the job. You just change them in the field to serve the design of the project. Now, each discussion device has a headphone jack with a volume control built in, as Neil said. So meeting participants can listen as loudly as they want without disturbing their neighbors. Now, the connectivity of this system is easy to understand for just about anybody. Now, first, we'll just plug in the first discussion device to the control unit's jack. And then we just daisy chain the others right on down the line. Oh, and by the way, since the control unit has 2 ports, you can daisy chain 40 devices to each for a maximum of 80 discussion devices. Now, Neil, I think that's enough for maybe even the United Nations.
I would agree.
Now, over on the back of the control unit, we have the discrete outputs for recording 4 individual channels. You know, like that courtroom scenario that we discussed earlier. You can see them here. A little further over to the right, there's also inputs for sources like interrupt microphones and interfacing with paging or emergency evac systems. And then you have a network jack to connect with a wireless router, which you'll use to control the system with a tablet and to interface ONVIF compliant network PTZ cameras for automatic camera follows mic system. Now, once you have connected the discussion devices, you just turn on the power button. On the front panel, you have the master volume controls for both the discussion device speakers and for their headphone jacks. And you can show the customer how to use them right here. You just push the plus and minus buttons to adjust those settings. Then further to the right, we have the meeting mode selection, such as voice activated, push to talk, or waiting list modes. And below that, we have a setting for the maximum number of simultaneous active mics. On the front panel, it's 1 to 4. The front panel also has touch buttons for recording the discussion either to internal memory or to a USB stick. And finally, there's a headphone jack for monitoring the meeting. It's especially nice if you have an operator. The control unit can record what's being said on a USB stick. Now, it can take up to 128 gigabyte memory stick here for a maximum record time of, get this, 4,000 hours. So there's never any danger with running out of recording space. But there's also 8 hours of internal recording time, in case someone forgets the USB stick. Now, once the system is connected and turned on, the installer needs to address each discussion device individually, and it's really simple. You just press the talk button once, and as you see, the LED will turn white. You do this to all of your discussion devices, and you're ready to go. How easy is that? Now, you can obviously see that this system is extremely easy to set up and operate. But there are always times you may need to have further control over the meeting, like maybe having up to 10 simultaneously active microphones. So in these cases, it makes sense to use a wireless tablet like an iPad and a browser. So you plug in a wireless router to the LAN jack and open a browser on the tablet. Now, the login here is, of course, password protected. So once you're logged in, the various menu choices are available right from the tablet screen. Now, this is especially nice if you need to start and stop recordings during a meeting and to have handy control of the system features right at the chairman's location. The control unit has native ONVIF network camera support built right in. So all you need to do is connect the cameras to the control unit right through that router. You can just then hardwire the cameras to the router, and it's really just that simple. Then, once you've connected the cameras, you can initialize them right from the tablet interface. Press a camera button from the main menu, choose a camera, and you can see the live camera feed right on the tablet. Then, for each seat, choose a camera and select a position for that camera to have it lock onto that seat when the participant presses their talk button. And then do that for all the seat positions, and you're ready to check the pre-positions of the camera, or cameras. First, check to see that all the devices and cameras are properly connected. Then walk around the table and press each device's talk button. You'll see the camera pan from seat to seat. And once this is done, the camera will store that position's image so that the camera will go directly from seat to seat without panning on the live image. And that's how simple it is to install and set up the CCS 1000D digital discussion system. And for configurable rooms, it makes setup and tear down fast and easy. Plus, we have a handy carrying case for the system when it needs to be put away until the next meeting. Now, if you're working in a place where either the architecture or sometimes the architect won't allow you to pull wires, then you need to look at a wireless system. The Bosch Decentis system is a completely secure, and I stress the word secure, wireless conference system that lives nicely right on the enterprise network without the need to drill any holes, cut any tables, or pull any cabling at all. Its secured card access allows it to meet the specification of even the most stringent government and military installations. Remember that picture we had of the Nuclear Security Summit? Mm-hmm. This was the unit they were using there. Mm. Now, the Decentis wireless conference system has discussion devices that support voting, video playout, and even internet access. So here you've got a lot of choices. But you need to know that we have it and that you can quote it. So listen, if you have any opportunities for Bosch Decentis systems, just give us a call and we'll help you pick the right parts and pieces to create exactly the right system that your customer needs.
I think this is the result of a 4,000-hour meeting here. But as you can see, use of the Bosch Conferencing system guarantees your customers will have successful and productive meetings.
Boom, right in the nose.
It's so brutal.
That's, I gotta watch that one more time. Boom, oh, look at that.
That's awful.
Only in the Ukraine. Yeah. So Neil, it's time to give away a $50 gift card for one of our lucky friends again.
I love this part, and I want to be very frank, that Pam Frank is the winner of our $50 gift card this year. Pam Frank from Tierney Brothers.
Way to go, Pam.
Congratulations, and thanks for joining us again at an AV Meetup Coffee Break.
So please tell all your friends and coworkers to join us every other week at this same time, because we'd love to have you as our next $50 gift card winner.
And if you don't show up, Clay and I will punch you in the head like the guy from Ukraine.
No, we won't.
We won't do that. Hey, thanks. Seriously, thanks for giving us your 20 minutes today to learn about 3 ways you can take advantage of missed opportunities in the conference and meeting space. And be sure to join us in 2 weeks at the same time when we're going to wrap up 2016. You don't want to miss this one. And we're going to take a look back on some of the year's milestones in AV technology that you may have missed, all on our next AV Meetup Coffee Break.
And remember, as always, you can go to our website to watch any of our AV Meetup sessions on demand.
That's right. For more information, to set up a demo, or to dive deeper into these products with a personalized online workshop, you can always contact your Starin Business Development Manager directly, or if you don't want a telephone, you won't be alone because you've got my team at starin.biz that you can email.
And if you'd like help with a Bosch conferencing opportunity, this handsome guy, Bobby Swartz, our Bosch EV and Telex Market Development Manager, will be glad to personally help you out.
That's right. Very dapper. Hey, our time is up, and we do promise to address your questions and interests directly, and it might even be Clay who calls or emails you with your answer. So we'll see you again on Friday, December 2nd. Is that right? Yes, Friday, December 2nd for our 2016 wrap-up and our AV Meetup Coffee Break again. Thanks again. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye-bye.